happy to take some questions about the company and what we're doing.
Great, thanks very much, Tim. So yeah, there are some questions. First one, what is Ionic Rare Earths' strategy for advancing the ionic technology magnet recycling opportunity, Tim? And what are the key milestones for the next 12 to 24 months?
So what we're doing right now is we're leveraging the work that we've done in Belfast, the IP that we've generated and the work that we've completed with the feasibility study to now look at markets where we think we can quickly replicate, where we can hyperscale the technology into those markets. What we've announced this week with the Viridian JV is a bit of an example of how we see the ability to take this technology into key target markets and help the establishment of these new supply chains to form. So our strategy is really around, we've proven the technology. We've got a very robust understanding of the capital operating cost. That affords us the opportunity to understand those markets and those potential partners where we can JV and how we can take that technology into those markets and ultimately towards revenue. So our ambitions over the next 12 to 24 months is really to expand the footprint and start the hyperscaling of the technology in those key markets.
Tim, what funding strategy does Ionic Rare Earths have in place to bring ionic technologies into production? And what are the anticipated costs and revenue projections?
Yeah, so if we look at the technology and what we intend to do in Belfast, we're finalising the feasibility study now, and indicatively we're looking, and probably a little bit early to give capital and operating cost estimates. However, we're advancing discussions with government. I was in the UK a couple of weeks ago, meeting with stakeholders there, including the UK Minister for Energy Security, Net Zero and Department of Business and Trade, Sarah Jones, to talk about the proposition of ionic technologies and recycling and how we can be a facilitator for sovereign capability in the UK. So the funding strategy that we're looking at is a mix of debt and equity. We're engaging with the UK government and we're working through, some dialogue there with the Advanced Propulsion Centre and other avenues for government support. We're also engaging with other sources of funding and technical partners in the UK who've shown an appetite to be involved with what we're doing in Belfast, but also thinking about how we can then take that technology to those other key markets.
Looking at that October trip to the UK, Tim, has it been a success?
Yeah, hugely successful. I mean, I'm probably through the UK 4 or 5 times a year. This year's been a very busy year because we've had a number of visitors coming through Belfast looking at the technology, and as we work through the selection of potential partners, working out how we can commercialise the technology, whether it be Belfast or elsewhere. But the appetite really has been extremely strong to take the technology into those other markets. In the UK itself, we've had huge support from the government and stakeholders there, local government, also in Northern Ireland. And we continue to engage with a number of potential technical partners and strategic investors in the opportunity that we present through Ionic Technologies.
Tim, you mentioned that positive development regarding your Brazilian joint venture, Viridian. Could you provide some insights into the importance of this opportunity for the company?
Yeah, so look, we see Brazil as being an incredibly exciting landscape when it comes to an alternative rare earth supply chain that has the potential for scale. So, we've been working as a joint venture partner with Viridis, we've been closely monitoring the progress that project is making. Through the joint venture, we have the ability to work with Viridis on developing a magnet and heavy rare earth refinery that can unlock the value of that basket. And in unlocking the value of the basket, it then provides the materials that would enable the development of a much more developed supply chain in Brazil. I think the opportunity for us as a company and through the joint venture is to be one of the early participants in setting the framework of what that supply chain looks like, and then mapping out the ways in which Ionic and Viridian can be an enabler and a participant in that new supply chain forming. because I do feel that opportunity in Brazil has the potential to, in the future, be able to produce substantial amounts of magnet and heavy rare earths that would provide an alternative supply to the existing supply dominance that China has. So I do see Brazil being a pretty exciting opportunity for the company longer term.
Tim, thank you very much for that insightful and comprehensive presentation. Great chatting with you.
Thank you, Steve.
That's Tim Harrison. He's the CEO of Ionic Rare Earths.